Today on Do Things Make Stuff, we're making a donut tree. There you go. So I started out by cutting the base. I wanted to use 4x4, figuring the donuts would look kind of bulky, so I wanted the base to be bulky. So marking the center, the pieces of 4x4 2 foot long, so marking the center at 1 foot, and then taking out a 3.5 inch piece halfway through both pieces of the base so that I can glue them and then fit them together later on. And I like to use a metal ruler. Just it's easier to work with. The lines on it are real sharp and nice to draw straight lines. So I took it over to the bandsaw and cut my notches out. You can see I kind of went over it again. I test fit it real quick on the side, and it was just a hair too tight. So I loosened it up a little bit, and then I used it to just sand it smooth in a couple spots that were a little rough. So gluing the two pieces up, pressed together, nice dead blow mallet, and that fit perfect. So what I did is I ended up buying a bundle of birch logs from Hobby Lobby, and I marked them at 5 inches of spacing. The donuts are actually 3.5 inches, so marking them at 5 inches gave me plenty of space to set a donut on each branch of the tree and give it some spots. So I just kind of here laid it out and set it up by eye, what I thought looked good, marked them out, and then cut all the different dowels at the appropriate lengths. I used 3 different size dowels just because I thought it looked better having some larger ones on the bottom, moving up to thinner ones on top. Also for the strength, the bottom branches are significantly longer than the top one, so having a little extra mass is always helpful. Alright, here I just laid them out and organized them. And then I took some bits, some Fastener bits and some regular bits, just trying to figure out what was the best one to drill the most precise hole possible. So now here I am marking out all the different holes that I'm going to drill into this piece of birch, and this is kind of where I did some testing. And what I found out here is that even though I tried and I drew a line and marked everything really nicely, I couldn't get the holes straight. So I'll show you what I did here for the final product in just a second. But using a Fastener bit, drilled out a hole for the branch to go in. And then here's what happened. So I ended up taking the branch, marking all of it, and then screwing it into a spare piece of plywood that I had laying around. And my wife helped me out, just hold it. And what happened is this allowed me to get all of the pieces lined up perfectly. When I tried drilling it by hand, even though I was using a drill press, they all were just off a tiny bit. So attaching it to a plywood sheet really just helped keep everything nice and square. So took a dot of glue and then started pressing the dowels in all the holes, and they were fairly tight, which was nice. So everything glued up really well. So I took that base, I mixed up some epoxy, and I just spread it evenly inside of the hole pressed in the branch. And then what I ended up doing is taking toothpicks and hammering them in and around so that I could level it out and kind of fill in some little gaps. So after that set, I had just a tube of 1 minute epoxy around, and I used it just to kind of fill in the spots. Alright, hey, thank you for watching my video, Do Things Make Stuff. The donut tree was a huge success at my kid's birthday party. People loved it. It was a pretty easy project that you can do yourself from home. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe. We'd love to hear more from you. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below, and go and make something.